If I told you that this game almost made me cry, you probably wouldn't believe me. And that's half the beauty of it. Another Crab's Treasure is, on the surface, a Souls-like game. Once you really get down there in the deep blue, you see that it truly is a story and character-driven adventure about acceptance, selflessness, shelflessness, and finding your sense of belonging in this deep blue sea, in this big beautiful world. I beat Crab Souls yesterday, and I immediately started talking about it right when the credits were rolling, so I'm gonna play that. That was so cute, but there were still some things that I didn't talk about there that I want to talk about now that I've had, you know, some time to digest kind of what I just played. So what even is this game? What is Crab Souls? What is Another Crab's Treasure? It's a game about our hermit crab Krill, who is just wanting to be just that, a hermit crab. He doesn't want anything to do with anyone. He wants to hang out and do nothing. Doesn't want to be bothered. Until one day his shell, his home, so his home, you know, his shell is his home. His home gets repossessed because of taxes.
I've got a lot of tax evaders to get through. You gotta pay up right now or I'm gonna have to repo your property. Got it?
Okay, I think I've got a hard kelp or two around here somewhere.
So right away, you know we got a banger of a game if our main character is being fucking taxed out of house and home. It's kind of some wild shit. Say goodbye to your shell, idiot. Oh, wait. Oh. Ah, crap. This is like some Legend of Zelda music here. And this interaction definitely does set a bit of the tone for the game, because this is what you are doing. You are trying to get your shell back from this seemingly plastic shark head. And Krill is quickly introduced to the vast ocean that was just steps away from the beach that he had been just chilling on, not wanting to go anywhere or do anything. There's this massive castle and entire world just steps from where he has been hiding. And now he is forced to go into this world, to explore it, and unknowingly save it from the evils within. And this game is very unassuming. Like, you really don't know that it's going to turn into such a wholesome story, because you just think, because even your character's motivation is just all you want to do is get your shell. Like, it's interesting how you are Krill. Like, you really are Krill, because you get introduced to all these characters at first, and you're all kind of going towards the same goal, except it's clear that you want to be the first one to do it.
I'm gonna find that treasure!
And then you do a part of it, and more information gets revealed to not only you, but to the other characters who have been kind of on the way to your goal. Hey, hold on. Who said any of you could look at that map at all, huh? I'm the one who found it. Well, you put it up to fucking display, dumbass. Can't all be reasonable. We're all up against the odds here. It's crystal clear that Roland and his goons have the best chance of getting that treasure. So let's us little folk beat him to the punch first. Then we can all argue all we want after. Sure, fucking whatever. And you kind of realize, well, I guess it doesn't matter which one is the first one of us, because we're all trying to really beat this one guy. Because there is a character that kind of shows themselves as the main villain. So it goes from you just trying to find this treasure so that you can get your shell back, to you on a little bit of a team trying to find this treasure so that you can get your shell back. And it isn't until like the later half of the game where things get a little more serious and maybe even introspective with Krill. And even with me telling you that, like, please play the game, and this still will all come as a natural surprise to you of the things that happen and the development that the main character goes through. And not just that, but there are so many twists and turns in this story. It's so crazy. It's so good. There's a lot of really good, you know, little curveballs they throw at you. So I think that really is like the best part about this game, is the whole story, all of the characters. Oh, shout out to the voice actors. Maybe I'll put like the list of voice acting right here or something, because oh my god, they all did so good. Also, Michael Reeves played two characters, which is kind of wild. Both voices are pretty different, but I could tell that it was him.
I'm here to inform you that you have outstanding taxes that date back in upwards of 10 tides. Rich? I like the sound of that. That treasure's as good as mine. I'll be able to afford the flashiest shell in the ocean, you know?
Which is good. Like, he did a good job is what I'm saying. But shout out to all the voice actors. Like, they did all such a good job. All of the scenes with voice acting were great. Every character did such a good job.
Apologies for the interruption, folks.
I suppose that sounds all right with me, I say.
You hear what they're talking about over there?
Sounds like some kind of crazy treasure hunt.
Or perhaps you truly wish for death.
Well, I'll gladly oblige you, my friend.
But don't be gloomy, glum, or sad. 'Cause down in here, it's not so bad.
Y'all float
Save
down here.
crying for another day. Forget it all. Come on, let's play.
Whoa, what the? You are all phenomenal. Like, congratulations. What a good job. All these people brought these fish, crustaceans, to life. Like, really made them feel real and gave them emotion and purpose and proper motivations. Like, it all just felt real. And, you know, maybe there may be some death, you know? Some death might be around a couple corners here. And you feel it. You feel it. Nice. And that's all due to the fantastic and clever writing. So congratulations to the, you know, the writing team, the design, all that shit. Fucking phenomenal. So yes, this is a Souls-like game, but it is very story-based and character-based, I think. Like, all the combat and everything is all Souls-like. You know, you have your healing flasks type things that get upgraded with certain items. Oh, there's no stamina bar. Like, you can just run infinitely and attack infinitely and stuff like that. That's great. I loved that little change. That was really cool. Oh, there's a jump button, which is awesome, and you can do a little flutter after you jump, so it's not like quite like a double jump, but you jump and then you like kind of scuttle because you're underwater. That's really cool. The attacking and the dodge roll pretty much works the exact same as, you know, other Souls-like games. The upgrade system's all the same. You get plastics, trash, microplastics, and that's how you upgrade. That's how you level up, sorry. That's like your souls, and you literally leave a crab soul when you die, and then you pick it back up. And it's like your shell. You pick the shell back up and then you get your souls back, type of thing. Where the real uniqueness comes from are the shells. There's 69 unique shells. They definitely did that on purpose. Every shell has their own ability, but some shells have the same ability. Like, there's one called Shell Shock, where your shell has like an electric current, and if you block and the enemy hits you, it stuns them. So there's maybe like 10 shells that have that ability, you know? I don't think there's any shell that doesn't share an ability with another shell. There's a couple that are more rare. Like, the one I used a lot was the pink Converse shoe, because it gave you an extra life. And there's a skull that gives you the same one. And if I would have found the skull earlier, I would have used that, because then another unique mechanic is if you have a shell on that is rollable, basically, when you're running, you hold L1, you pop into your shell, and you can fucking roll. So if you're in like a pop can, a tennis ball, coconut, you just roll around, and if you get some speed, you end up going shoo, and going really fast, and you can use it to ramp off stuff, to jump farther, maybe get some places you're not supposed to get, stuff like that. It's really cool, and it's a fun way to just get around quickly, almost like a little mount. But not all shells can do that. Like, there's a Rubik's Cube shell, you obviously can't roll with that one, you know what I mean? They have a grappling hook that is, you know, a fishing hook with the fishing line and a hook on it. Use that as a grappling hook, and that's very fun, very unique. Oh dude, that's so fucking cool. Yeah, baby. Grappling hook. Another little unique ability, which could be similar to like talismans, stowaways. You can buy some, or you find them along the way. Some are worth like 1, some are worth 2, some are worth 3, some are worth 4. It's basically the strength level of it, and in total you can have 3 on, but they can only be worth 9. So I don't know if that makes sense, but and these essentially give you a bunch of different boosts depending on what kind of build you want. There are a couple pets on here that will float around with you, including Michael Reeves' pet, which you can find eventually. Frederick, the soul of a financially savvy fish. Hey! And they'll kind of be like an assistant that floats around you and attacks as well. There's one that can be used as a little lantern that follows you for the one area that's dark. Well, they have these abilities that are kind of like Ashes of War. There's 8 of them, and that would be your heavy attack button, and that uses your magic meter. It's called Umami, I think, or Umani, I think. So that's kind of like your magic meter. And those are pretty cool. Some are way better than others. I really liked the one that was basically a grenade, and it was like a sticky grenade essentially. That one was awesome, especially fully upgraded. Oh, another similarity to, you know, a Dark Souls thing would be that you upgrade your weapon, your fork, which is really fun. It's a fork. You get stainless steel keys. The more of those you collect, you go to the blacksmith. He upgrades it for you. Makes it stronger. Very cool. Improve it for the last time. Make it shine. Fully upgrade Krill's fork. There's also skills on their own upgrade tree. So there's 3 different paths that you can go. But by the time you get to before the final boss, you'll be able to unlock all of them. I mean, I fought all of the bosses before I got to the final boss, even the optional ones. So maybe that's why I was able to do that. There's so many unique mechanics in this game. It's just so hard not to love. Not what I wanted to do. but that's like kind of hardcore that I just did that and stayed alive. It's so fun. And they have a lot of wordplay, which was fun, like saying, oh my god.
My God!
Oh, also the music. Oh my god, dog, the soundtrack.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. Ho ho, what the fuck? That goes fucking hard.
The credit song is so good. The intro song's so good. Just everything. The atmosphere is amazing.
Nothing ever washes out the way you want it to, my dear. No, nothing ever seems to disappear.
Like, all that stuff's good. It's very hard to find flaws in the stuff like that. You can really see the Donkey Kong Country influence. And I still have more that I brought up as the credits were playing in the game, so I'm going to play that. Before I do, I guess the only thing I want to mention is one of the accessibility options. Like, there are a handful of very good accessibility options, what I thought was fun. One of them is to just give Krill a gun. So one of his shells is a gun, and you can just, it basically one hits everything. So if you're having a really hard time with a boss, you just say, fuck it, go to the settings, give Krill a gun, you just pop, pop, pop. And there you go, you're good to go.
Maybe that's all we need. Give me your fucking shells.
I could see myself doing like another playthrough and just killing and just using the gun. It'd be so fun. It would be so fun.
That was so cute. That is so fucking cute. Oh my god. Aw, that was adorable. Aw, that was really cute. Aw. Wow. That was really nice. I feel like bad for Krill a little bit. Like, but he knew. Yeah, very unexpected wholesomeness at the ending there. Like, wow. That was really cute. I really like that ending. Yeah, this is one of those games where like the story and everything like really sold me. Like, that was so fucking cute. What a good ending. And it was really a good game. I couldn't believe like the story that came with it. I was really expecting it. After you find these 3 treasure map pieces, you fight this other, like the main, who you think is the main bad guy. And then that's like really the halfway point of the game. And the next half is just, it's like, what the fuck is going on? And like Krill had so much development. That was so cute, so unexpected. This is a Souls-like, but what I like about these Souls-like games is that they embrace like easier to digest story. Like the story was very easy and it was very good. Like I was saying, there was only like a couple of the bosses that like really pissed me off. There's like this electric eel boss that's quite gimmicky. She has 4 different parts, and the one part I really didn't like. That really pissed me off. But another thing that was wrong with me was that I did this with Sekiro. And you'll understand what I mean when I say this, is that a big thing about this game is the shells. Like finding different shells, using them to your advantage, using the ones that are around you in like a boss fight, understanding like, okay, the shell's ability clearly is going to help me through this boss battle. And that was something that I just didn't do until a certain point in the game, and that made things way better. I definitely acknowledge that things like not knowing how to upgrade, those are things that are my own fault. That would have made a lot of the things that I'm complaining about easier. Like, I'm sure if I would have I knew how to do them, but I just fucking forgot. I wasn't paying attention. Like, I didn't know how to upgrade. I didn't know how to do this. Like, I didn't know how to make your weapon like an axe, pretty much. Everything I'm unlocking right now, I just didn't know. Oh man, I didn't know how to use the hooks, like shit like that. I just didn't pay attention to. And there's so many little mechanical details about this game that are so unique because you're a crab underwater that they just ran with, that were so fucking awesome. Like with the fishing hook being a grappling hook, the one boss lobster with, I think it was a crab with chopsticks. and he used the chopsticks as samurai swords. Another enemy that was like all over TikTok was the boss that uses the bike lock, and it's a guillotine, like shit like that. Like, very unique, very creative. We just watched the credits, right? Extremely short, very small team that made this. Like, that's something to be really proud of. Something to be really, really proud of. There's a picture on Twitter I saw. It's the indie game that made the three that was inspired. Oh, so I already knew. It was Sekiro, Donkey Kong 64, Dark Souls. And those 3 games, like, you can 100% tell. Everything that was in between the bosses was all Donkey Kong Country. Like, all of it. Collectathon, fun platforming. And then for Sekiro, like, again, with the shells, you can use... I barely parried or countered or anything. But blocking, like how Sekiro is so heavily... Like, with Sekiro, it's not like Dark Souls where you're trying to dodge. Like, you are blocking, you are parrying everything until the stagger bar is full, and then you can do an attack that does a ton of damage. That's like this game. You're not even looking at their health. You're looking at the stagger bar. You want to get the stagger bar full. Stagger bar is full, you can do a big punishing attack. And that's kind of the whole point of this game. And then Dark Souls, the Dark Souls influence, I'm not too sure how much I love, because I see it in a lot of the negativity I have with this game. Everything's very slow. If you dodge, and then you go to heal, you dodge, and then you press the heal button, and then you press the heal button again, and you press the heal button again, and then you take out your healing item, and then you use it. The unique thing I'll say really quickly about the healing item was fun, is that you could like drop it. If you were took it out and you got hit by an enemy, it would like, you would go flying, and the thing would just be like boop, and would float off, which is just fun. I think that's like fun, very fun little thing to add. But it was stuff like that, like when you can be interrupted, but you can't interrupt an enemy unless you have certain shells. Like shit like that was where I saw the Dark Souls 1 influence, and I don't know how much I love that. Like, I liked this game so much that I have 30 out of 32 achievements right now after my first playthrough. All I need is to fully upgrade Krill's Fork and to try on every shell in the game, which are both under 10% achievements. Not that length matters, it's just I put in fucking 26 hours my first playthrough. Like, that's pretty sick, you know what I mean? That's pretty sick. That's huge. That's massive. Now, I do think there's replayability here too. Yeah, I guess really, like, now that I'm really thinking about it, the only thing that I didn't like were some of the boss gimmicks that made me mad. But I love the design of all the bosses, so that like weighs out the negatives. Like, if I have a column, you know what I mean? It's like bosses pissed me off because of A, B, and C, but I like bosses because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know what I mean? But overall, just such a good story, and I was not expecting, like, again, another thing that the other Souls games, aside from Sekiro, and I'm not familiar with maybe like Bloodborne or Demon Souls, I'm not sure, but definitely Sekiro, is that you as a player, you don't have character development, though other characters around you have character development and like story arcs and stuff. You as a player don't really. It's something that you create your own like headcanon with those games, but not with Sekiro. With Sekiro, you have a character arc depending on the endings that you go with. Your character Wolf is not a nameless character, but when you play Elden Ring, you're tarnished. When you play Dark Souls, you're John Dark Souls. In this game, you're Krill, and Krill has a lot of personality to him. Before you would kind of fucking hit everyone off a cliff basically by an accident while trying to take out Roland, so that you could get treasure to give to the shrimp to get your shell so you can go back to do nothing. You're like, I don't want to be here. I fucking hate everyone. Like, I just want my shell. Leave me alone. And then you see that other character, Frilth, and he's like, oh, and because you're worried, you're like, oh, like, what happened? Is everyone okay? You know, now you suddenly care about everyone. Well, you fucked everyone up. Like, everyone's mad at you, and then suddenly you're sad about it, and you want to try to help them because now you've realized like kind of the situation you've put other people in, and you're not so worried about yourself and your shell. You're worried about everyone else in the city and trying to make things better, even though you don't like realize it. Like he was saying at the end, like, there's a reason why I was going on this journey, but what is it? Like, why? There must have been something I like about it. He was trying to help people. That's what he's still gonna keep doing. He's gonna go around and just keep helping people. I'm very happy with the turnaround with this game. So overall, another Crab's Treasure, Crab Souls, is just a phenomenal game. Like, I honestly loved it. It is not just a phenomenal Souls-like, but just such a good story with great characters. And yes, some of the combat when it comes to the boss stuff is a little rough. Some of it can be rough, but it can all be overcame because they give you a lot of options via shells and other mechanics via combat to kind of overcome that. I still stick with a couple of those bosses that I were really frustrated with. I've already done a boss tier list, and I'll probably link it at the end of this video. But overall, highly recommend this game. It is so good, such an absolute treasure, and it really tugged on the heartstrings at the end, which I was not expecting whatsoever. So if I were you, I would definitely give this game a chance. If you were someone who started it and you maybe haven't quite got back into it, push through, because I guarantee you by the end of it, you're going to be like me sitting there going, that was such a nice story. Such a nice adventure. So when asking the question, what makes Another Crab's Treasure so good, you can just say everything.
Itemize the value of what lay between the sunset and the sunrise and the sea. And although the years will change us and the sunshine will